are live. It's been a few days, but we are back with Real News Quarantine. We're going to dive into all the developments with the coronavirus. Trump has unveiled his plan to reopen America, bring the country back roaring and glistening into the new post-corona world. Oh, God, it's been a crazy few days for us because we've been dealing with all kinds of crazy shit, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been nutty.
Yeah. Oh, let's check in on the Minecraft. Yeah, see, our elections are getting fucked again.
No surprise.
Yeah, it's every year around this time. You know, it's like the fucking flu. You know, it comes around at one time of the year and it just like the COVID now too.
Yeah, we need to have the CRs as a fucking disease. A CR19. CR20, actually.
Yeah, I think they're more like it's more like a cancer. I think you know, just kind of grows, spreads over time. Like when I first went so bad, but it's just seeded. You know, it won't go and kill you at first, but you let it go unchecked. You know, unless they take drastic action, they go and you know excise the tumor. At this point, it's not going to fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Need some fucking chemotherapy right now.
Dude, it's
It's
just...
just terrible. It's just awful. Like what? I just like. I'm stuck right now, like trying to understand what the fuck is going on with the like. Even for the last couple of years, it's like this. It's like the same shit. It's the same swampy shit, and it's like now I think we kind of understand what the fuck Trump is talking about and trying to drain the fucking swamp, of albeit on a much smaller level. But it's bad, man. It's bad. You got people, you have people that just want to. They want this. They want this title or whatever. They want the title like president, vice president of the Republicans or Democrats or whatever, just as a bullet to a resume. And it's like, I understand that you come to a college for personal development. I get that, but it can't just all be that. It can't just be your own personal development. There's work that has to be done for that particular job, right? It's like, and I feel like these people are just working just to keep their shit versus actually doing the fucking job.
Well, yeah, you know, if they were just gonna go and brand like this, you know, like if they want to get another point on the resume, that's okay, that's fine, but at least put in the work. But they don't do that. They don't even put in the fucking work for their resume. They just expect it to be given to them.
And then they're fake,
entitled. They're
fake conservatives on top of that.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think happens because it's always been that way since I was there. Like, you have a small faction who actually give a shit. You know, at least with the people who tend to rise to the top, they don't actually believe in this. You know, they're sort of country club conservatives. They're daddies and mommies. They're like, oh, you know, you should go and join college Republicans. You know, we like, you know, not paying as much taxes so that mommy and daddy can make more money. You know, not be poor like the fucking common shaft. That's sort of what they think, from what I've seen.
What I don't understand is why is it always the CRs that's the problem with this, and why is it that these people run, and why is it that these people get voted fucking in?
Well, because the people who join the CR, they just see, oh, it's conservative. You know, and I was always brought up in a conservative household, so that means that I must be conservative if I want to be like my parents. That's why they do it. You know, it's fucking annoying. It's not much you can really do to stop it at this point. I mean, unless they do something big enough where they had to fall and then get completely instituted. Like it's a fucking joke. The entire club's a joke.
Yeah.
It's been a joke for quite a long time because the people, the only people who really stay in there because everyone else is scared away because they see other turning point or, maybe they even go to the fucking Moose. I don't because they don't see anything for them there because the college Republicans barely do anything. Like actual conservatives, why would they stay? These people aren't campaigning. They might do like filmmaking like once or twice a semester. The people who are in charge are large. Like, there's no reason for good to stay, really.
I
They
think
drive the good people away and they keep the shitty ones.
I think that's exactly why it stays this way. It's a swamp. CRs are a swamp. And the swamp monsters take it over. And nobody wants to stay in the swamp, so they leave. They find Turning Point. They find all these other ones. And listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Charlie Kirk, that don't like the direction Turning Point's been going in. I get it. Trust me, I've been the one bitching about it more than you can imagine. But that's at the national level. At the local level, Turning Point is awesome. The people at Turning Point are great on the local levels. On the people, the boots on the ground are your true conservatives, your true Trump-loving Republicans that have been upset with the cuckiness of the cucky college Republicans, and so they leave and they join Turning Point. They join these other ones. I mean, Yao usually has the goofy libertarians, the people that haven't grown up and still need to realize what reality's like. But the Turning Point people, 9 times out of 10, are the normal people. And I mean, and I think Alex hit it right on the head. I think that's really the reason this stuff happens. The reason college Republicans stays cucky and corrupt is because the bad people stay and the good leave. And when the good try to take it back, the bad people push back. The swamp just, it fills up even more. They do dirty tactics. Now I'm getting, apparently, because I mailed my dues in before the deadline, now I'm getting word that, oh, there's an issue with this. And I don't even know what the issue is because the money was received. It's in the bank account. I don't know what the issue is. So, that's what they do. And you'll have, I guess these people get voted in because they know, I guess they know how to network a bit, or they know how to socialize, and they get, buddy with the right people, because these elections are just popularity contests. It's nothing more or less. It's not qualifications or anything. If it was qualifications based, I mean, we wouldn't be here talking about this. So they buddy with enough people, and that's how they win. And it's always with these cucky people, and that's who stays. So I feel right at home.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And that's with anyone, too. Like, if you have people in there, they'll drive out the people who are actually doing anything.
Yeah, that's what's what the bigger problem with politics on a national scale is. The good always leave, or now, as you see, they get banned. I mean, I want to mention too, real quickly, that Owen Schroyer and Rob Dew, both great people, work for Infowars. I met them; they're wonderful, nice people. Both banned on Twitter, and now you can't even post Milo's website for his Roger Stone book on Facebook. Just like with Censor.tv, you try to share a link Censor.tv, you can't even post it. You now can't even post a link to Milo's website about the Roger Stone book. It's insane what happens. I mean, we're dealing with enough shit from the other side, doing shit like that, and then you have people on your own side, supposedly, or who act like it, that are just as nasty and disgusting. It's like, well, we don't have time for this. This is a war, and let's actually start fighting back and have allies and people that actually are loyal and give a shit.
Oh yeah, it's not even just like politics. So you see this even at like companies,
Sure.
like, especially larger. That's why you really just the toxic people need to get out. They need to get they need to get pushed out fast. Like you can't have those people like especially like if you have a toxic person who's a regular member or regular, that's one thing. But if they're like in upper management, clubs, if they're on the executive board, that's when you start having real.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I've learned more than anything through my times at clubs is toxic people need to go. You need to get rid of them. You need to deal with them quickly, or else it just gets worse and it spreads. It's a cancer. They're not really
Well,
toxic people. They're cancerous.
yeah. I mean, well, the here's what I always think. I feel like they get the CRs get the bump, the player the fan bump in like the first meeting of the semester. And so that first meeting, you know, if they attend, depending on if they attend the involvement fair or not,
Mm-hmm.
like they'll get a lot of people, and then of course they'll sell their spiel, and you know, kids will pay their dues, and they'll be excited to,
Yep.
you know, to be a part of it, right? So they'll get they'll pay their dues, and then after a couple of weeks, they're going to realize that this thing is actually shitty, and then they'll want nothing to do with it, and then they'll leave. But this is actually that. But this is the type of shit that the swamp wants. They want to get rid of all those people because they already got their due money, right?
Mm-hmm.
They already got your due money. They don't need you anymore, right? So they get your due money. They uh, and then because you don't go to enough of meetings, they'll just say, oh, well, they're not allowed to vote. So the only people that are voting are the crooked little coalition that they have amongst themselves, and it's just enough to get, you know, to stay in power or whatever. Um, so that's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, and I gotta admit, like as far as this year goes, I think I should take some of the blame for that shit because um, I think I should have been more. I I I think I should have been more vocal when it came to that. But I actually, I'm not gonna lie, I had faith in the last president, so I kind of wanted to give it some, you know, some hope. You know, I wanted to give it some fucking blind hope. Of course, you know, you give them enough a rope and they're gonna hang you with it. But
Mm. Well, no, I think honestly, I don't think it's. I mean, unfortunately, the situation that you like, most of the people in, yeah, I'd say almost, I'd say about 95% of the people in CRs don't even know you currently.
mm-hmm.
So even if you say
Yeah,
anything, they would just be like, "Oh, he's a crazy old man. What does he know? He's just coming here ranting and raving. He's just wacky. What is he? Who's this dude?" I mean, that's the problem. I mean, even if I said something, they just wouldn't care. That's the problem, is that no matter how many facts you lay out, it doesn't matter. They just don't care. Or they look the other way, and they have cognitive dissonance. That's the unfortunate fact. And some of them do wise up, but most of them don't. That's what I've learned.
yeah.
So if I ever sound
Well,
pessimistic, it's because I've learned it doesn't matter how much you tell them, it's not going to change anything.
yeah. I mean, I felt like I could like it's one of those things. It's like I look back, I'm like I could have done more. I mean, obviously it would have been like there's just a multiple ways of looking at it, and I always think it like, okay, if I could have said more, would it have made a difference?
No.
Maybe, maybe not. You know,
Well, look at how
um,
many people knew about the shit, about, Will Lafente. I don't know if I can say that, but we'll call him.
yeah, no, mm. It's all
Well,
right, whatever.
Yeah, the
well,
first name's not a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, in any case, yeah.
Well, let's just say in
So
general.
it's like
Look at the
problems.
how much people knew about particular people, and they were still supporters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it, like, but we're not really there to like say, hey, not enough people are. I don't think are there to say, hey, That's it. Or well, I mean, to be honest, now that I think about it, yeah, it really wouldn't have mattered because it's like these people that are in these positions are controlling who counts as active members for the voting process and who aren't. Like, it's like it doesn't matter who you are, how many meetings you've gone to, how many dues you've paid. It's like if you don't, like, if they say you're not eligible to vote, that's pretty much, that's really it. I mean, it's not like, I mean, we can protest it all we want, but like
Yeah.
these people have shown that they don't give a shit like who, like how wrong they are. They're just like, well, we want to stay in power. We want those paid CPAC trips. We want the trips to Israel. We want all that shit. You know, we want all that shit, and it's dirty. It's a dirty machine.
Yeah.
It's like I know you're like me. Like I have vision of what the place can do and how good it can be, and I see what it is now. I'm like, this shit ain't even close.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not even
it's
close to
getting
it.
further away from the fucking sun every year.
Yeah. It's like I mean I see what other people do, and this is like, I don't know, and I think there's a little bit of naiveness to it too, you know, with some of the people. They just want to, you know, they want to believe that, you know, these people are kind of semi sort of good, or at least have their interest at heart, like, and but I just, but it's not, it's way more than that. It's just so much more than that. It's like, no, they don't care. It's about them, it's about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
it's about their self-service, and they don't give a shit who they gotta lie to or screw over to get there. You know, which, I mean, even, okay, so even, and what's worse, it's for me, it like, from what I believe anyway, even the dirty politicians up in DC have some sort of good that they do. Like, there's a lot of shady shit that they do, but there's like a little nugget of good there, you know? It's like a little bit. Even if it is for like they'll give to charities, even if it is for a tax break, or they do, you know, or they show up to a charity function, even if it is just for a photo op or whatever. It's like there's at least something positive there. Like, I don't see that shit with these college Republicans. I don't see any of that with these college Republicans. Am I mistaken, or what?
I
Sadly,
mean, you're
no.
right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they all act like shit. They, you know, they'll do whatever they can to go and appease their own resumes, but they don't actually put in work to do real things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's an ever growing problem too. Like it never, like, you know, every step forward, it's another step back.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and these and the current administration is friends with the previous administration that was a complete fucking disaster.
And they
And
act like
that
they're not.
administration and that administration were friends with the previous administration,
Yep.
and they did a disaster of a job. And it's like, and honestly, look, this right here is a teachable lesson to
Yes.
anybody listening, right? Anybody listening, anybody, look, they even say this in the Bible, like, he who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm, right? Who you like, if you go and you listen to other, like, if you listen and you seek advice from other good leaders, other successful leaders, you, the chances of you being successful are pretty high. If you listen to other pieces of shit leaders, it's not looking good for you, because, like, you know, you're, you know, yeah, and people know, like all you have to do is ask around. people will let you know, oh, that guy or that girl was pretty fucking shifty. You might want to stay
Mm-hmm.
away from them. People talk, right? It's not like this whatever information you're looking for is not readily available. Like people, if you want to know something, people let you know.
And in the digital age of recordings and video
Yeah,
and screenshotting, ooh, it makes
yeah,
it makes shit easy to spread.
Well, some of these people they put this shit out here for different, and then they get all pissed off when the regular people discover what they're doing behind closed doors.
Yeah, like
yeah.
look, I'll be
Look at
honest.
you. Look at you. Look at you, right? Like you saw what bad leadership looked like, right? You saw what bad leadership looked like. You're like, nope, there's no way I want to be a part of any of this shit. So what did you do? You went and talked to other people that have been successful as leaders. And it's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? We've had countless amounts of conversations in the past about, okay, this is probably what you should do in this situation, because you're like, you want, if you're working hard and you want a positive result, you want this stuff to happen. It's like you know that the way that the previous administration before you did, the way that they were doing business wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to, those weren't going to get you the results that you wanted, right? So you got to listen to other people, right? Listen to people outside, and then work hard and figure it out, on your own, and and you ended up being successful, whereas these other people were listening to other crappy garbage leaders just like themselves, and they ended up failing, right?
Yeah.
And this is a fail for them. This is a failure. This year has been a failure. Last year it was a failure. The year before that was a failure, and it's not looking good for next year, right? Next year is going to look just as not as is not going to look as promising as other years. And it's just, that's just how that's how it is when you run on a bad, when you've done such a shitty job for so many years. You forget to see what right looks like. When you've been around that much bad leadership, it's hard to see what right looks like sometimes. So it's, I don't know. I don't know. It's not looking good for them. Looking great for you. Looking great for Turning Point. Not looking very good for fucking CRs.
Well, to circle back to what you started with, is that this is a teachable moment. I was just about to say when you started that was, despite all this, I don't regret for a second getting involved with CRs. And it's because I've learned so much. I've learned
Mm-hmm.
what corruption looks like. I've learned what
Mm-hmm.
swampiness looks like. I've
Yeah.
learned how to spot fake people so quickly now, especially
Mm-hmm.
recently. So
Mm-hmm.
it gives you experience, which helps you. Just being exposed to good people doesn't help you detect bad people, and this has helped me detect fake and bad people extremely well. Like, and you all know who I'm talking about, who's running currently, who's fake as shit, and I spotted like literally in the first few syllables he uttered. I could tell, yes, dude's full of shit.
That's not saying much though.
Well,
Stevie
yeah, I
Wonder
mean,
could have
this
seen
guy, you
that
can go
shit
look
coming.
at his fucking his. You can
Yeah,
tell.
but
Actually,
still, there's a lot of
actually,
people that have
speak
been in this
louder.
game that don't even recognize it.
Well, I think they're closing their eyes. Like, you have to be
Yeah.
really fucking dense to not see
I know
that.
smart people that can't pick up on this, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, it's literally right there. There's physical evidence. If
Mm-hmm.
you can deny that, you're justifying it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're not a very smart person if you can't see this guy's a fraud. And I
Yeah,
tell that to their face. Like, these people are literally, you know, if you want to justify voting, pissed off about it, okay, but don't go and kid up. Like, don't kid yourself, and don't kid other people and pretend that you're doing the right thing. And this person's not gonna go and do exactly what you know you've been saying.
Yeah, I mean, when my girlfriend talked to him too, this dude, she said like right when he brought up the damning interning that he did, she was like, "What the fuck does this guy think he is? Like, this is insane."
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm like literally the only people that are calling the non-cucky people that are picking up on this are you two, my girlfriend, and a dude we know, the campaigns. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm like, what is? I mean, I'm like, am I crazy? I
No.
can't be. I mean, this is just like, it starts driving you a little crazy because you're like, how can I be the like feel like the only one? Then you find other
Well,
people that do see what you're seeing. And you're like, okay, I'm not crazy.
No, talk to these people. Get that, like, actually gonna have a full conversation. Like,
I've tried. I've tried.
I'd love, like, see if they're not even willing to have a conversation. They're full of shit.
Well, that was
They
what came up with one person. I kept going on about it. Well, I didn't go on about it. I actually just only started talking about it, and he started changing the subject. He's like, "Well, that's why are we? Why is this relevant?" I'm like, "Cause this is
Well,
fucking the most
no,
relevant thing
I'm not
ever."
gonna fuck these people. Honestly, if you get them on the fucking Discord, I'd love to have a chat.
They
These
are in the
fuck.
Discord. No, not in
Dude,
not in this particular Discord, but there was a group chat that, um, maybe we'll have like pre-election meeting. I don't know. We can hopefully.
yeah, I'd love to go and
Yeah.
talk to some of these people because you know, they're intentionally doing this. I think maybe they're subconsciously. I doubt it.
Yeah,
Like
I think with said individual, I think they don't give a shit. They stopped giving a shit, and they just don't give a shit. I
Yeah.
mean that's pretty much what it is. I think they know. I think they realize what's in front of them, but it's like, whatever.
I just wish they would at least admit, like, yeah, you're right, Sean. You're right, Phil. That yeah, you're right, Alex. This dude is a fraud. But I don't care. That's fine. I mean, I don't mind that. Just fucking like open your
It's
eyes
like,
at least.
and it's like you would think. You would think that a political organization on campus would be working somewhat with the county political office or something along those lines to get some sort of, political training, political experience, something like that to kind of hone what they're learning, right?
yeah,
Because
especially
a lot of these guys are political, political science majors, they're, you know, and you would think, okay, well, how would I learn from other people? Be like, okay, well, maybe I could learn from the county Republican offices, the state Republican office, like something along those lines. Like try to look for people that are, again, look for people that are successful and kind of, pick their brain a little bit, try to learn what you can and kind of mold that into your own uh individual, right? But like these guys haven't even been working at all with the county, right? They want nothing to do with the county. They want little to do with the state. They want like it's just not. I don't know. It's it's baffling, but it isn't. You know,
Yeah, that's what's sad.
it is sad because it's harmful to it's harmful to the republic. It's harmful to the Republican Party because as we're seeing in Center County, red seats are being lost. They've been lost for the last 2 years,
yeah, and
so
you know, a
they're
certain
hurting.
candidate was helping get these seats lost.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what pisses me off, and
So it's
nobody
like
gets it.
yeah, and you're right. They're losing out. The CRs are losing out because they're losing out on good experience and exposure and kind of like seeing how it all works, seeing how it's all, you know, how each role is defined and how it works and and it's great experience. They're missing out on great experience. And I mean, so nobody win. No, like when you're not when you refuse to work with them, it's like nobody's winning. Nobody's winning in that situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just baffles me that that like if you're trying to gain experience, if you're honestly trying to gain experience of some kind, it's like, well, why aren't you reaching out to the people that can offer you that experience? Like, what, you don't like them? It's not about whether you like somebody. Like politics, business, whatever, any kind of work. It's not about if you like somebody. It's about can you get the job done? Can we, accomplish whatever we're set out to do? In fact, more often than not, I prefer if I don't like the person that I'm around, because at least, I don't know, it almost gives me a little bit more of an objective, view of
Mm. They're not worried about
who
hurting
I'm
their
with. Yeah,
feelings or anything.
right. I'm just like, well, it gives me a little bit more of an objective view on the end of it. I have objective view on the information that I have and what I need. It gives me a little bit better of a direct a better sense of a direction, and then so I can move quickly. Because if I'm friends with somebody, then it's like, okay, well, then it's
Yeah,
like
you
I
got
have a
this.
distorted view. I have a distorted view of what they're capable of, what's there, and then it's like, and then if I have to make a bad decision, um, or if I have to make a decision where, like, if something's struggling, and then like, say uh my friend works there and he's not up to snuff, or he's not doing the job, or he's not like, then maybe my friendship will get in the way of doing what I have to do and letting them go, versus, you know, just cutting loose and finding somebody that is right for that particular role. It's like, you have to know, you have to know when to hold and when to fold, basically. And being friends with somebody kind of real can cloud your judgment. That's like,
Oh yeah,
but they're
perfect.
all friends. But and this is the problem. They're all friends. Like all the like with the CRs, they're all kind of buddy buddy. So it's hard to like get that sense of, can I rely on this person to do the job? And it's like, well, they don't really care, because it's like they're friends, and it's a social club, and it's like, they have this distorted view of what the club is even supposed to be, even to begin with. So you don't there's no progress, because they don't have no idea what progress is, what the goal is, what they have to do to get there. And they shoo away everybody that does, because they're trying to stay in that comfortable zone. And yeah, it's frustrating. The whole thing is just really fucking frustrating.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if I've talked about that on this show, but good example of what you're kind of alluding to is when I had to fire somebody once, who was created in an or a person who was hired in an appointed position at
Mm-hmm.
TPUSA. I had to
Yeah.
fire them once because they weren't doing their job. They weren't doing shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we weren't friends. Like we weren't bros. We didn't hang out really. We didn't talk to each other often, but we were nice to each other and we seemed to, get along. And I'll be honest, when I had to fire him, like one of the thoughts came through my mind is, well, I don't want to really come off as mean to him, even though I know what I have to do, but I still stepped up to playing digs. I know it had to be done. And I was like, I'm not really going to be helping him. I'm not really helping the club if I don't do so. I'll do it. I mean, because also what was pissing me off is when I see other people not stepping up to the plate, it almost makes me feel obligated to. Because our president at the time didn't have the balls to do it. And when I saw that, it was kind of annoying me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
How hard can it be?
Yeah. So and like, if you're friends with somebody, then it does get a little bit
It's hard.
difficult or
Yeah.
whatever. But like, I but you have to like as a leader, right? You have to look at the business or the non-government organization or whatever. You have to look at that as the most important person in the room, right? That's a good translation for what you're trying to do, right? So if okay, like let's just say a business, right? Say you're part of a business, um, and you have to look at the business like they're the most important person in the room. So if you have a shitty employee, right? That shitty employee is treating the most important person in the room with disrespect, right? And because of that, other people are having to pick up the slack for that particular individual.
Mm-hmm.
Like that garbage person, he might be friendly to you, but he's shitty to the most important person in the room, right? He's got to go. Right? And if if it's a pattern, he definitely has to fucking go, right? It's like I'm all, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for like if the employee's not up to snuff, all for like rehabilitation and
Oh
retraining
yeah.
and stuff or whatever.
Well, that's the
But
thing
but if
too.
it's a pattern, you gotta go. You gotta go. If it's like a repeated, if you remind somebody or if you try to like retrain them or whatever, and they still aren't up to snuff, hey, you got cut sling look, cut them the fuck loose.
Well, that's the thing is we're not saying to treat people like shit, of course, you know.
Right.
Let them down nicely, but I mean, at the
Yeah,
same
I
time,
mean,
if somebody's
of
being a
course.
dick, like it's gonna be real hard to be nice to them, you know. But if they're just incompetent or if they're just, you know, for whatever reason they have
Well, I mean,
issues, you know, you let them down nicely or you give them a chance to fix themselves. Like if they have some sort of issue that they're dealing with, you say, well, hey, and if you have the resources, you can say, hey, I can help you fix this. You know, I won't dump you
it
that
could
quickly.
just be as simple as I want to thank you for the work that you put in, but your work is now no longer required. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Bam, there it is, right there. Just
Yeah.
just just as just as simple as that, right?
Well, because I think of situations though, like, do you remember when? Do you guys know why Trump got into a feud with Rosie O'Donnell?
No.
Okay, this started because this is when he used to own the Miss America pageant. You know,
Oh God. You don't tell me she fucking ran for Miss
no, it's not that.
Oh,
Um,
that would
dude, that oh god, that'd be really funny. Um, no,
Was she one of the judges and she was trying to fuck one of the contestants?
no, but like, she could only get into Miss America as a judge. But the thing that became a feud between them was when one of the winner of the pageant one year won, uh, you know, the pageant and got her award and all that jazz. And then I guess a few weeks later, or very recently, like after that, she started getting into trouble, I think, with drugs and alcohol. And Rosie O'Donnell was like flipping out, was like, Trump needs to remove her crown. She is a disgrace. She's awful. And Trump said, hold on a second. I'm going to give her a chance. If she cleans up her act, she can keep it. Guess what? She cleaned up her act and she kept the crown. That is a great example of giving somebody a second chance or, you know, giving them some loyalty and treating them fairly. And I think that's the very important line to ride on is, you know, you don't treat somebody like shit,
Yeah.
and you can maybe even make them a better person through it, because Trump kind of saved her life, really. She could have,
Really
if he took her her crown, the really big thing she had going for her at that time during this rough time, she would have spiraled out of control even more. So that's the thing I think it's always important to keep in mind is that we're human, we make mistakes, and if you can rectify those mistakes, if you can change for the better, you should be commended for that. You should be rewarded.
Yeah. I'm all for giving people the opportunity to fix themselves, but if they don't want to fix themselves, then there's really
Exactly.
nothing you can do.
And
right?
that's what Trump saw is he said, hey, can you fix yourself? And she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, great. boom. And Rosie O'Donnell was bitchy the whole time. You know, and that's again, that's the thing. But yeah, if you're absolutely right too, is that if somebody shows that they don't want to change and they're not gonna change, whew, that is the
'Cause, yeah, I
you
mean,
don't want
and
that.
we're all human. Like we're all human. We all make mistakes from time to time. But if like giving somebody the opportunity to fix themselves, it makes them a better person. It makes the organization better. And it's like, I mean, you know, because if you get like really, because if you get rid of somebody and you fire them, you know, then you got to train them, then you got to retrain them, then you got to
Hmm.
like and
It can be very much
or
your
there's
loss.
turnover. It's a loss. I mean, there's loss to be had, both like with you know, extrinsic and intrinsic. You know,
Yeah.
there's loss to be had, and you know, if you can salvage some of that, then that's the best. You know, and it makes for loyal employees too. It really does.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like,
I
oh,
said
this
this to
guy has
the
my back. I'm gonna be loyal. Like I'm not gonna like yeah, you know, and it's the important the important thing is, are they learning, right?
yeah.
Really the most important thing are they learning? Are they develop? And part of that developing is, you know, now if they make a pattern of it, then you got to fire them. Then that's a learning lesson for them too. But you know, it depends. Like I I just I don't see any leadership like that in the CRs, and I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it ever.
You know, and we and until and it's hard. 'Cause you know, you almost need just a complete hostile takeover, you know, to really fix it, like to really fix it, because they have not only done like they have no. I don't think they have any idea what right looks like.
Well, they do. It's called Turning Point. I get jealous of it. And they
Well,
don't. I
yeah,
remember
but
that one election this year. They kept saying how many times, like, well, we should be like Turning Point and table every week. Well, we should be like
yeah,
Turning Point and do this and that. We should be like Turning Point and have speaking events. I'm like, oh my god, genius ideas, guys. I don't know
yeah,
where Turning Point got these ideas from. Oh, I don't know. Other successful things.
Now,
yeah.
what they ever say when people brought that up?
Some people even know. It was kind of funny. Some people were like, well, I don't think we should be like Turning Point. We should be the CRs. And I'm like, rolling my eyes, like, fuck me. This is why you're here.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, that's nothing controversial about like actually doing your job.
I know.
Yeah. It's like, oh, God. I mean, we could do our fucking
Why?
job, but why?
Why? Yeah. Why
Why?
would you do something so hard?
God, it's so much easier to just fuck off and go to CPAC and go to Israel and go to all these other places. Like, geez.
And the thing too, I noticed about CPAC too is like none of these people came to the real fun shit, like the Alex Jones after party and the National Files events. Like none of them came to those things. They missed all the fun. I'm like, you
Well, yeah,
people.
weren't they all like? Wasn't the one guy almost like forcing them to be around something?
That's what I've heard, which is weird. That's culty
How could you
shit.
even do that?
And
What the
then,
fuck?
well, okay, so I'll say this: that they were probably, and this is where the shitty leadership comes into play too, right? And people are like, well, oh, you're not really a politician, you don't have political experience. No, but I got leadership experience. Here's and that experience, really, in all honesty, is universal.
Yeah.
Here's what they were doing, right? So they were thinking more along the lines of, right? They were trying to network with other conservatives. They were trying to network with other
Conservatives,
conservative
quote
groups.
unquote.
Right. Well, cuck conservatives, whatever, rhinos, whatever you want to call them, right? They were trying to stick to that, right? They were trying to stick to those conservatives, right? And they were trying to network, and they were trying to, but here's the problem with that, right? One of the one of the main things the one of the main things that goes with networking is reputation, right? You have your reputation uh, really sets you up for the ability to network with other people, right? Like if you're a good employee, you're gonna get to, or you're a good person, or you're a successful person, you're gonna have opportunities to network with other successful people, or whatever. Um, but if you suck, nobody's gonna want to nobody's gonna want anything to do with you. They don't give a fuck about you. Like no,
No.
they're not gonna want to. Why would I want to network with a piece of shit? If I wanted to do that shit, I'd go back home to where I'm from. There's plenty of pieces of shit back there that I could fucking network with all day long. Like if I want to take myself seriously, I'm going to network with other successful people, but in order to do that, I have to be successful myself. And that success comes with hard fucking work, right? Making good decisions, not, and continuously developing my own shit, but they can't do that. They're not going to get they're not going to get to that networking point because they haven't done the basic foundational shit to make themselves good. It's so that's where they are. And it's like, well, I mean, look, you work hard, you build a name for yourself, and now you're
Notorious
networking with
name.
other people. You're networking with other people, you're networking with other sound people, and that's one of, that's a result of what you've done over the years, or even this year, right? And that's the difference between you and them. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving out so much simple free advice. Like, I mean, anybody's listening, literally, we're
Like
giving you the
yeah.
guide to winning, the guide to
And
being a successful leader.
they've had this information, and the worst part is they had this information too, and most other people have this information too. That like all the you show me a story of a failure, and I'll show you a story. I'll show you maybe one or two people that they've ran into in their lives where they could have went the positive direction. They could have done more. They could have made a better decision. They could have, you know,
Well,
made more positive decisions in their lives, but they chose, well, whatever. They chose to take the easier route, or take the road less rocky, or take
Well, they
and
simply also just don't put. I mean, you were talking about this earlier. They simply just don't put the work in. Is what I've noticed. Like they just
you
don't.
don't put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, right? You got to put in the work. And even if you fail, that's a even if you put in the work and you fail, that's a learning experience, right? You're growing from that experience. But if you never put in the work, you're never really going to learn. You're never
Mm-hmm.
going to really learn how to be successful. The road to success is paved through many fucking failures, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is successful all the fucking time. It doesn't work like that.
If it did, this would be a lot easier.
Yeah. And if it was, everybody'd be fucking doing it,
Yeah.
right? Everybody be successful, but there's only a handful of people that are that fucking successful, and it's because they're willing to do the work. They're willing to make, they're willing to take chances. They're willing to take calculated risks. They're willing to, go that extra mile where nobody else is willing to go, right?
That's the thing too about Sears. They are so risk adverse. I mean, oh my god,
Yeah,
they are
they're trying to
so
play the safe
scared.
card. They're trying to play that safe card, and I'm a bit of a Carlinist. Yeah, as a yes, and yes, that's from the comedian Carlin,
I was
right?
gonna say George Carlin, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, because I always believe that safety is an illusion. It's an illusion, right? There's no such thing as a safe, like at any point, at any time, anything that you hold dearly could be gone in an instant, right?
That's true.
Anything could happen. Anything could happen, right? This world is full of fucking surprises, and um, you gotta live. You gotta live like you. If you want to do something, you gotta put in the work. You gotta make your right decisions because, you know, even if you are in a blessed position, that position could be gone in a fucking instant.
Well, I mean, a good example actually is what I went through with everything being cut short with Turning Point
Yeah.
because of the coronavirus. I mean, who the fuck would have expected a global pandemic to be what
Yeah.
stopped me?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what it took. That was what's just so funny is that I remember it so well. It's almost haunting me when I signed that contract for Eisenhower Auditorium to host our final epic big speaking event. And I'm like talking to them about cancellation policies, and she says, "Oh, it would have to be something crazy, like the governor declaring a state of an emergency for this to get canceled." Well, guess what fucking happened? Yeah, literally, that is what happened.
But okay, so we'll look at but this is also a teachable experience where you are going where, you know, that speaker is probably coming back next year. Okay,
Or coming.
like
Yeah.
the wheels are already in motion for that speaker to come next year versus like the CRs had a speaker that they wanted to bring. They failed. They failed last year, and they're probably going to fail this coming year because they don't have the resources, they don't have the manpower, they don't have the there's so many barriers going in the way, and like you've already put in the work. So for you to get from point A to point B is not going to be as hard for them because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right?
Well, what I remind people is a good thing I pushed for 2 speaking events, one per semester, else we would have had none this year. If we didn't do the fall one with Sargon and Hunter, we would have had nothing. And the CRs have nothing. They didn't do a single speaking event.
Not only that, okay, so and then there's a matter of this too, in that like because you did these speaking events and you worked through these speaking events, you worked with the executive board on these speaking events. They're learning by watching you. They're learning by interacting with you. So then they're getting experience, they're getting know-how, and it puts them in a better position to get speakers to come on campus. Where again, with the CRs, you're gonna have to learn from fucking scratch.
Yeah.
Who knows who knows if that even happens?
It would take a very talented person to be able to do that because that's hard.
Well, it's going to be a lot of work for them. For them, it's going to be a lot, because there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that naturally goes into getting a speaker on campus.
Oh,
right?
It's insane.
Yeah, and the more you have to learn on the fly, the harder it's going to be, right? And you get all that shit you got to do. It starts getting easier to walk away from those decisions when it really gets bad, when it really gets uncomfortable, right? And that's what a couple of these other organizations went through when they were trying to get speakers.
Well, that's why I was glad.
It's too difficult. It's like, well, it is, but do you want it or not, right?
And the thing with the college Republicans too is they don't have anyone or top game.
All that.
What was that?
All that? That's another thing. That's a good point, Alex.
Wait, what was that? I didn't hear anything you said.
Well, I said they don't have anyone on their actually had experience, like even in the CRs getting speakers. Like at least with you had, you had experience with the previous year with Donald Trump Jr.
That's what I was exactly. Actually, that was my point. Was that
Like they haven't had a speaker in a year, and the people like I know who the last speaker they had was, but I'm pretty
And
sure
the
most people involved in decision making are gone, long gone by now.
Yeah, that's
and the
exactly what
one
I was
and
gonna
the
say.
one
Is that
person.
the fact that I was able to do that speaking event in last spring when I was secretary helped really. I wouldn't have been anywhere near prepared for the stuff we had to do with Sargon and the other plan one because I learned so much from that. Like I learned you have to do this shit well in advance. You have to do this, this, and this. You have to make sure this, and
Uh-huh.
this are covered. So yeah, like that. I'm glad I had that when I was secretary. Else I would have been just exhausted trying to do the first speaking
Yeah.
event.
And see, like I imagine, I don't know who's going to be the president or vice president of Turning Point, but I imagine, you're probably going to make yourself available if they have any questions from speakers.
I've already even told them that. I'm like, look, guys, I'll be gone, and I'm gonna, it's your turn to take the reins, but can always ask me questions. I'm always what Kuzi say today to me? He said something like that I'm kind of like a consultant. Yeah, like I am always a consultant. I can always help. Literally, I don't care how much time or energy it take. I'm always willing to help.
Yeah.
And the one person on that executive board that did have anything experience wise is leaving out of disdain for the organization and is not coming back, right? Like there's again reputation, right? You dick people over, they want nothing to fucking do with you, and it's like, so now you got to find somebody else. You got to find somebody else that's going to be willing to do some of that shit again. And you know, where are you going to find it? Because again, reputation, right? If if I know if I'm eager to take this position, but then I get news, oh yeah, don't do that. They're gonna dick you over. I'm gonna start thinking, oh, these guys gonna dick me over? I might not want to take this shit. So it's like you just met like the not only are they inept, but they're making their job that much fucking harder next year for when you do want to get that shit done. It's
And
like,
honestly, you should bring this up to them, like, if you have a chance to give like a one final like fuck you to the CR.
Oh, I plan
Be
on doing it.
like, you
yeah,
guys are fucking unprepared. You guys, and you've willfully done this. You've had another conservative organizations both within Penn State and in the surrounding areas, and you've refused to have any contact with them.
yeah,
And these people, they could have got you guys experience. They could have helped you guys useful speakers, but instead you snub them in the fuck face. How are you guys like gonna get speakers next year? Like that's a good question. Like who do you guys even want to bring to fucking speak? Are people even gonna give a shit about these speakers? If they don't give a shit about your speaker, what's the fucking point of wasting all that time and effort? You know?
Exactly.
How the fuck are they gonna do it? Because it's not just a one it takes of playing of dealing. You need to go and have those conversations with the like with Penn State to even know how to go and do that. You need to have those connections to faculty. You need to have those connections to the you know to everyone over there.
Yeah, I mean, I again with all these speaking events, I always have to go to Darcy, who's basically the woman that runs all the events at Penn State, and she's like the go-to person. Because I've had that relationship with her, it's made it very easy to coordinate future events. Because I'm like, yep, need to go to her. Need to talk about this. She knows I've done this in the past, so we don't have to discuss this, and we can just go here and do that. And it's so much smoother and easier. None of that, she doesn't know any of the fucking CRs, because they
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
done anything.
well, especially and they don't even have an advisor to go like and help them with any of the university's bullshit. Like you guys, Turning Point, it was kind of a hectic scenario getting the advice. Now that you have him, and you've talked to him, he's a really cool guy, and I'm sure he's helped you guys out before with navigating the university.
Oh
They don't
yeah.
have anything like that, even an informal advisor. So how the hell are they going to get any?
Yeah, it's a bad situation for them. It's they wonder why their shit sucks, and this is it's like we could give them so many reasons, and they just don't get it. That's my frustration. They just nobody seems to get it, and so nothing changes. It's just same shit, different year, maybe worse, but it's same shit, different year. Because everybody talks about turning point, nobody talks about CRs. Nobody, like, I always make that. I know it's braggadocious, but the fucking group me's are just not even comparable. We have almost 350 people, I think, in our group me, and CRs have like 130. It's just not even close.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we're out there. We're tabling every week. We're getting people. We're doing shit. These people do nothing but meet every week, CPAC, and a debate or two with the Dems. That's it.
And the result, and one of the results is you know being nominated awards, whereas nobody even knows they fucking exist, right? Like who
That
knows?
was funny.
I wouldn't like if I didn't know these leaders personally, I wouldn't even know who the fuck they are. I know you. I know you've been on the front lines of damn near everything. I know. I even if we would have never met, I would have known who the fuck you are, right? Whereas these guys, I would have known. I would have known who the fuck they are. Like that's not like if you're gonna be in that kind of organization where you're gonna be like I need to know who the fuck these people are, and I don't. And that's like I'm sorry, I thought this was a political organization. How come I don't even fucking know you? Like that's the wrong fucking answer, right?
Yep.
There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something I gotta know you for, right? If I didn't know you personally, I wouldn't know who the hell you are, and that's the wrong goddamn answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you go Google like your fucking name, you'll Google any of these people, like the heads of the college Republicans. I doubt you'll find anything.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say
And
comes up with my name?
you find tons of things, tons of your stuff with the Sargon event, tons of your stuff, just in general,
Yeah,
with how you've run
general.
Turning Point with the Trump event. But when you go and Google search, the current president, I doubt you'll find it because they haven't done anything. No.
And it's like there has to be a little bit of there has to be a little bit of like selflessness too. Like there has to be something that you're like, look, it's not just about me. It's like how can I help other people succeed? Like how can I help other people say that's leadership, right? Right. That if I the how do I put people in positions to succeed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I did with the committees and helping, sort of groom our successors in a way. And I say that in a positive way. And what I mean is that if I see somebody is really good, I help them out. I give them extra special help and advice that other people I know if I tell them might not do them any good. I mean, I'll still try to help other people, of course, and get them to higher positions. But if they're not showing the initiative, I'm not going to reach out to them because they're not reaching out to us. So, that's the thing is that you do, and that's what I worry about. And when I say worry, I don't worry too much about, but I do worry about the legacy of this organization. Not my legacy, but the legacy of this organization. What comes next? I mean, I'll be honest, it's not going to be the same next year. Every leader's different, but I know it's going to be fine next year. But what about after that?
Yeah,
well, you can't do everything, but
yeah, exactly, and that's where I say I don't worry too much.
Huh.
It's just it's just a thing I think about. It's like, well, what's going to happen next, really?
But you set this thing up for success next year, like this. Like I'm saying, the best you can hope for. Look, and this is anything. Like, you can't. First of all, you can't think like that. Well, what's this going to look like in 2 years from now? Like you can't fucking think like that.
Well, you
Like
kind of need to.
you,
Yeah, I think
not
long
if you're no
term.
longer, not if you're no longer with them. Like, look, you you set this thing up for success. You put this plate.
You want to know
Look,
why? It's
you
because I was
you
thinking long term. I was thinking about 2 years, 3 years. Like,
while you were, yeah, but I mean, you put in the work to make it better than when you got it, right? You got it. When you got it, it wasn't in as good of a position as you got it, as you leaving it. Like you're leaving it in a very good position, and that's a testament to you, right? You look at the CR situation, it has gotten progressively worse, right? Each and every year, it is getting progressively worse. That is a testament to their leadership, not in a positive light, right? That's the whole thing. It's like having kids, running a business, whatever you want to look at, right? Anytime you're in a leadership position, it's like, a, a, am I setting them up for success? Did I leave it in a better place than I found it, right? That's how you got to look at it, right? And you 100% succeeded in that regard.
yeah, and the reason I'm emphasizing like, the long term thinking is because it's not just about this one little club. Like, this club is conservatism at Penn State.
Yeah.
Beyond this, there is
Yeah.
just nothing. And that's
Yeah.
why I do think long term is because I think this is such a critical piece in spreading conservative values and getting people involved with conservative values at Penn State. I don't necessarily want to use the word conservative, but you get the point. Like, fucking
Mm-hmm.
red pilled base pro Trump right wing ideals, whatever you want to call it. I know Turning Point says, oh, we're nonpartisan. We all know it's a crock of shit. They're partisan as fuck, but not legally. So you get the point. And that's where college Republicans is frustrating, is because speaking of that, they're in a position where they can campaign, do all this shit officially without having to worry. And there's nothing else like that. And there's ways to get around that, but man, is it nice having that. Because boy, do the Dems have that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that, I mean, and this is one of those things. It's like, when you look at these two organizations, you look at the CRs and you look at Turning Point. One has more resources, one has more potential, one has more networking, one has more, on paper, the CRs have literally everything that TP doesn't, but yet TP is still more successful.
College Republicans have everything Turning Point doesn't, and yet Turning Point has everything college Republicans don't have, too.
Right.
It's kind of weird that way.
Yeah, it's just because I mean it, and again, that's a testament to the leadership, right? It all boils down to the leadership, right? What do you do with what you have, right? They should be completely running shop, and they're not even close. They're not even there's more people that are going to the TP meetings than any CR meeting. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for them. Like, but they're comfortable with. Like, look, they've some of them have even said themselves. It's like, oh, they're comfortable with that. Like, yeah, well, we're not that type of organization. Really, what fucking type of organization are you? Right?
They are perfectly fine with mediocrity. They do not aspire to greatness, and that is why they fail.
Like, if I saw that, that would piss me the fuck off. That's the difference between a good leader and a bad leader. And a good leader sees failure as like, this is some bullshit. How do I fix this shit? And then they get right to it. Whereas a bad leader is like, oh well, maybe
it is what it
happen.
is.
It is what it is. Things happen. Maybe we'll get them next time, but you won't. You won't get them next time because you don't have the, you don't have the know-how. You don't have the you don't have the determination. You don't make the good decisions. So you're going to fail again. It is going to happen. You're not going to learn from it. You're going to repeat it. and you don't care. You just don't care. That's it.
Yeah, and they oh shit, what was the other thing I was gonna say? God, I'm losing my train of thought now, but yeah, one of you can just keep going. I lost myself.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, you know, and my dad kind of told me this sort of adage too, and they haven't listened to it. You know, regular, a smart person learns from, their own mistakes, but a fucking genius
Learns from
learns from
others.
the mistakes of others.
Yeah.
And the college Republicans haven't done either. And you can see that.
Oh, that's what that actually reminded me of the thing I was gonna say. The one thing I noticed too was that when when we were trying to sort of build relations with them, like it came to a point, I don't know, I really don't know the true why or what triggered this necessarily, but at some point the CR president eventually told me, yeah, we're gonna kind of do our own thing, and we're just gonna let you do your own thing, and I was fine with that, cause I'm like, okay, cool, I guess I can. I mean, it doesn't really change anything,
Yeah.
but
But it's like
that's the
that's
problem.
Why are they? Yeah, why did they refuse to work with another conservative organization? That just doesn't make sense. If they're actually competent, they'd want to be working with you guys.
That's the thing, is like they talk about, on the one hand they keep saying, oh, look at how Turning Point does this, and look at how much better Turning Point is at this and that, and then at the same time they're like, well, we don't want to work with Turning Point. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you guys want? I think they want their own sort of success, and they're kind of jelly, and they want to get their name and their glory, and they don't want it being attached to us.
yeah.
I understand that to a degree.
For them, it wouldn't even take that much. Like, it wouldn't even take that much. If you think about it, like, look, they have all these resources at their fucking disposal. Like, you have the ability to do it. All it takes is just a little fucking work for them.
I know, right?
We work our asses off to make sure that shit's in a like, but they can't even do that little. They can't even do that little bit.
What's that Supertramp song? Give a little bit, give a little bit. That's what the fucking CR's got to do. Just give a little bit. Give a little bit. It's so easy.
You guys, ideologically are on the same fucking side.
Or we should
it's
be.
Not like it's not like you're the fucking bull news party, like going like super fucking, ridiculous.
Far right.
It's a leadership thing. Well, I mean, it is. It, like, hypothetically, like, well, not hypothetically,
well, they work more with the fucking college Dems than they did with Turning Point.
That is a fact. Yeah. That is a fact, actually.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know how whoever thought that was a smart idea, came about, but that shouldn't be the case. You guys have more in common, ideologically, than you do have apart. So why aren't you working together? Like the university, it isn't a place for conservatives. You guys need all the help you can get. Like, I'm sure all the Democrat clubs are working with each other.
Uh-huh.
Well, and here's the thing, too, is that I remember one of the arguments somebody made about, we'll just call him the big bad wolf, that was running, that's running currently for president. They're like, well, because I brought up, well, he's BFFs with the fucking CDs, and somebody's like, well, that could be a good thing. And I'm like, yeah, you did say you want to do great debate and do debates with them, and they're like, yeah, that's a great thing. And I'm thinking, well, that's just one thing here, okay? That's not the effective things we need to do. I mean, great debate's cool, don't get me wrong, but you need to be doing effective things. Debates are meaningless. The only thing they really can do is hopefully change people's opinion. The people in the middle they're watching. Hopefully those people can change their minds. That's the only thing you can hope for. But that should be only a part of what you're doing. Just because this one dude can only do a part of what they need to do does not make him qualified. You need to be a warrior. You need to be able to do what needs to be done. I mean, you need to be doing effective things. And what's effective is speaking events. What's effective is tabling every week. What's effective is putting up flyers and doing activism and protesting and campaigning specifically. So
And I've seen it too. Like there was years where people, they had the great debate, and they were ideologically separate at the same time. So I don't see how this. You have to be a Democrat to have a great debate.
Yeah.
Like I don't get that. And if they are going to have those requirements, then it's not even worth it.
It's not worth it. Yeah. It shows.
But they didn't even.
Like, here's the other thing. If the Democrats want to do something with you, 9 times out of 10, it's not something that's going to be effective for your side. It's only something they feel comfortable with doing, because that's what I've learned with them, especially with their last president. She would only want to do stuff with me if she could win, if she could have a gain from it. When there wasn't that, fuck you, I don't care about you. Whereas I'm like, hey, let's have a debate, let's have fun, let's do these things. And I'm still that way, just, despite what I was saying earlier. What I meant to really was that I'm all down for debates with the other side. I want to have those fun events, but at the same time it needs to be balanced with doing other stuff.
And with all that said, the kicker? you actually had a debate with the Yang Gang.
We did.
They couldn't even pull that shit off, and they were working with the Democrats more than you. It's like they couldn't even do that shit. The shit that they fucked up on, they couldn't even do that shit right.
Yeah.
They couldn't even do that right. Like it baffles me. The how terrible they could possibly be. Like how bad could they possibly be? The answer, really fucking bad.
Yeah, and right now, even the current college Republican's president, he's not even a real fucking Republican. Why couldn't he get the great debate done? I think the only reason they stopped the great debate, honestly, was because people were being incompetent. The one
lazy.
year, the President Nixon, she was roommates at some point with the one college Democrat president. I think that had some personal issues that got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after that, people were just too lazy to restart it after that. I don't think there was anything nefarious or like any sort of huge
I agree.
deal. I think it was just, people doing things inappropriately that screwed it up in the first place, and then just laziness to set up again for the second place.
I agree. It really is just laziness, and like I said, they've done nothing this year, and the CDs too. They really haven't done a lot this year. I'm trying to even remember what they did. This one mock the presidential candidates debate thing that was, even that was kind of a joke, but that's really it.
I protested you guys. That's about it.
Oh yeah, can't forget that.
That's good too, because the best that they did was
it helped us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We played a pretty good hand, but
we didn't even play a hand. They did it for us.
Well, yeah. We knew. Well, we knew that coming. Like we
didn't know it was going to be that bad, though. We didn't know it was going to be that much.
That's true.
But they still didn't completely disrupt the event.
Yeah, it was such a win.
But even that, so it's like the sad part is, it's like, yeah, the Dems really didn't do shit, but it's like, whatever they didn't do was a hell of a lot more than the Republican. Like, the CDs definitely did more than the CRs, but that's not setting exactly setting a high bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, what? And the problem is, like, for me, it's like I'm looking at this from a concerned standpoint in that it's central Pennsylvania. Outside of Penn State, it's very, very red, very Republican. And there's even a large chunk. Look, you're telling me they're out of the 45,000 people that go to Penn State, like the University Park campus. You're telling me that you can't get 40 people to go to your fucking meeting, right? Out of the 45,000 people, you're telling me that only 45 people are conservative, right?
Well, to be fair, that is hard to do. To retain active membership is really hard.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Why are
like,
college Republicans? You know, it's different than Turning Point because you're like a you're a splinter.
For a
of it.
frat.
Like no, you're like a fraction of like that stuff. When you see college Republicans, you know that's a little bit different than Turning Point.
mhm,
Like you're not comparing apples to apples.
mm-mm.
So like the amount of people I'd expect to show up at a CR meeting would be like they should be maxing out the room.
Yeah, that's what
Pretty
that's
damn
kind of what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm saying though, because like they should be filling up like really they should be filling up the room because just because a Republican that it's a Republic, there's Republican in the name. I mean, even the name,
Only.
right? The name, yeah, well, yeah, that. But I'm saying, like with Turning Point, it's like, well, you look at that name, it's like, well, what exactly is Turning Point? Like we have to explain to people what we do, like just by our name alone. But like with college Republicans, like it already gives it away. Like it's like, oh, it's yeah. Like so all you have to do is fucking table or go to the involvement fair and actually fucking do work. Like it's already there for you. Like just show the fuck up, right? And they can't even do that.
No, they couldn't.
Like,
They showed up to the involvement fair late.
no, they were like, it was
Yeah,
terrible.
how they explain that too?
I
Did anyone like you fucking apologize for that? 'Cause that's frankly, someone should have been fucking fired for that.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what happened with that. I still don't know. I don't have the lore on that, but I would love to know. I think I asked about that like the other day, and it didn't really seem to know.
Well,
Which is bad, let alone that their board
I
members
think
don't
that
even know.
I think that they're just lazy. This was a second,
Yeah.
second choice for them. They had other things they thought were more important. That's just
Yeah.
really showing of who they hire on their exec board.
Yeah.
You're judged by the company that you keep.
To quote a infamous friend of ours.
Yep.
Yeah. Like at least like organization wise, you're judged by the people on your executive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You choose
You
that.
are the company you keep. Yeah. I mean, mm, I, I look at it, and then it's like, well, a lot of it is about socials for them too. Which
They
I mean,
can't
don't
even
get me
do
wrong.
those now.
Yeah, they can't even do that shit right either.
And then they have some pretty inappropriate behavior happening
Some
at them
nefarious
supposedly.
shit going on to these fucking socials or whatever. Which I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for socials, but like, look, that like, if you want this thing to be a social club,
Star fucking
there are
frat.
there's other social clubs that do that sort of shit. Okay, this has a particular specific agenda, and you're trying to accomplish that agenda. And if you can't do that agenda, maybe you shouldn't be having those fucking socials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to try to accomplish that agenda, and then maybe once you do that, maybe you can have your fucking socials, right?
Yeah, this isn't a fucking frat. I mean, ever since when I started going, it was always they even made a joke. It was more like a frat than anything else, and it seemed
It couldn't be
back
further from
then-
that now.
Yeah, it's just a fucking frat. But at least when I went, they had decent parties. Like they can't even do
Yeah.
that right. All with the college stems. They used to have some with the college stems, but it wasn't every fucking party.
Well, I don't even know if this year they had ones with the college stems. They just had pretty lame ones that had fucking, disturbing behavior at some of them.
Yeah,
Good thing I
imagine trying to
didn't-
hook up with a feminist. Oh my god.
They probably got scared because it was like the word like you're mentioning about those. There's a certain term for the sketchy frats that they had.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably given to the CRs after their behavior.
Yeah, I forget what that's phrase. Yeah, it was some Greek life term, and I forget what it was, because my girlfriend was mentioning that the other day when I was talking about this particular shit with the CR. She's like, "Yeah, remember that girl in our health class that had that term for those frats?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it's the fucking CRs now, basically.
Yeah, sadly.
Not
Oh god, it's just so bad. I gotta rename this video because I originally called it Trump unveils plan to reopen America. Now it's fucking
Oh yeah, no, we talk about that a little
no.
bit.
Yeah, I know, but it's most 99% of it has been uh TPUSA exposes CRs at Penn State.
That's a hard thing with those live streams.
Mm-hmm. I liked it anyway. We finally we got all our thoughts out on one stream here. I mean, it's just
Not bad,
it
not
is, you know, that's why I started dabbling with the idea of accelerationism, because I thought, well, if it's not gonna get better, then we might as well just make it worse in the hopes that people wake up and it gets better. It's still kind of in that situation where even if this one guy gets in that I have hopes for, even if he gets in, I still think it's gonna have to get worse before it gets better. But I'll give him a chance given the fact that it's an election season. It's kind of a riskier time to do accelerationism, but if he wasn't running, I'd be going full accelerationism.
Yeah, no, I get you. I don't know. I think accelerationism is a sort of inherently defeatist ideology.
Well, I think it depends on the situation. It's a really depends one. Um,
Like unless, like I don't think it's that bad yet. I think there still could be some hope it gets slightly better.
no, as I've done with this for 4 years, and it's gotten nowhere.
And then
Maybe.
next year, you could try to find someone like a boot on the ground and try to influence things again. I mean, we're kind of being the same shit that we're fighting against, but
Well, if we could get a group of guys together and gals that can just drain the swamp and coup it basically, then yeah, we go the reform route. But since I haven't been seeing that, and again, I'll give this one guy a chance. It needs to be accelerationism. I mean, accelerationism is in many ways a bad way of doing things, but in some situations it's necessary because then people actually start caring or waking up. Like with social media, I remember Milo said this on our show when we had a show on the radio. Um, he said that he doesn't think any change is going to come about big tech censorship unless some big names like Ben Shapiro get banned. I think he's absolutely correct on that.
well, I think he's correct with yeah. I think with that, I can get that. But I think for this situation, it is an election year, and I think what we basically need the CRs to do is offer some support to local candidates. That's all that we really need for them. We can have other organizations that work. The Students for Trump. If we can get someone to take up that mantle.
I don't know about that. I haven't been replying my texts. That's why I said that one didn't feel good to begin with. Now it's not feeling real good. Now, I don't really see it going anywhere, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. You could go and try to reach out to the Trump campaign, have someone else make it, see if they can get somebody.
Well, that's what we've been trying to do, but we don't know anyone.
What even the one guy?
Yeah, we don't know anyone. Unless, well, I mean, we might have to start asking around, but I mean, the problem is, like, the two people that are currently there are graduating. And I don't know what their plans for the club are, if they have other people that are going to take the reins. It's trying to figure that out. I might even, oh, wait, I could contact the field rep at them, because he texted me a while back, because he wanted me to start up. Or other people. I'm like, dude, I can't. But I might have to contact him because he's kind of the closest thing to an advisor, and that's a good thing TPUSA has is they have these field reps that check in on chapters to make sure they're doing their homework. Basically, when you have that, you have oversight, you have accountability.
You know, the CRs need something like that,
Yeah, they have
but
no
they're
field
not.
reps.
Mm-hmm.
They have this
Well,
federation does nothing.
yeah, they couldn't even get out an actual Democrat plant when they
Literally.
actually need them.
That's actually an interesting thing I want to talk about is because it relates to the guy that's currently running. Are these people plants, these two nefarious characters, or are they just resume, you know, I don't know what you call them, like these people that want shit on their resume, grifters?
Yeah,
Or,
I think they're.
Bullet
I don't think.
seekers.
I don't think. You know, the old. You know, Woody. I don't think he was a plant per se, because he was involved since I was there at least.
mm-hmm,
So I mean, if it was like this, would have been a very long job, and I
an
don't think
elaborate
this
scheme.
guy. This guy might be a plant, but I don't think Woody was,
Mm-hmm.
because you know you can go. I mean, just go and look at the guy's resume. You know, he worked with Democrats. You know, interned with them. He just kind of showed up out of the blue.
Yep.
So I don't think that's very legitimate behavior. I think
And he was in
someone,
the College Democrats group me.
yeah, something's telling me that this wasn't organic. You know, I wanted to go and join the CRs. This was, hey, this guy looks like he might be a good person to have in contact with to manipulate things. He looks like he's decent enough. He wouldn't raise that many red flags. I mean, maybe he thought and I guess they were right because people are being stupid, not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, the one thing also, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say again. Oh no, you can keep going. I totally lost it. That's
Yeah, I
twice
think
tonight.
you need to go and have your Brain Force Plus.
Yeah, I do. Oh god. Yeah, I think the thing with him being a plant though is like, yeah. Well, oh yeah, I was gonna say we need a nickname for him.
Name him Mr.
Waldo.
Allen.
Waldo.
Yeah, Waldo. Yeah, I think that's a fair name given
Where's
the.
Waldo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where is he? You know, he's traveling all around the world. No one really knows where he was from, what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's I think Waldo could be a plant. And that'd be pretty clever on their part, but not clever enough to fool me.
Yeah, that's the thing with him. Is clever enough to fool a good portion of the people over there. Because I don't even think he's really fooling people. I think people just, I guess maybe they're pissed off at, maybe they are going accelerationists. I don't know.
No, I wish they were. Threw out the idea of accelerationism and they got scared. They're like, no, we shouldn't do that. And I was like, darn.
Or you guys are kind of doing it,
Yeah.
whether you know it or not. You guys are voting for the candidate. Because literally nobody over there is any decent.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least some of the other ones would probably not do anything overtly harmful. This guy very much could and probably will. He'll say whatever he needs to get in. I have no doubt he will. But as soon as it gets down to the brass tacks, there's going to be some issues.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. It's like, yeah, and everybody keeps believing everything he says. I'm like, do you guys look at what this fucker has done? Do you guys see any of this?
Oh, I'm sure they don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not paying attention.
I'm trying to load up YouTube. My internet's going really slow right now. To end this stream, but yeah, if anybody else out there knows CR chapters, you know exactly what we're talking about. Because I hear they're the same pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I bet they are. They're not the same. They're very close to it.
Yeah, I think ours takes the cake because we were one of the 3 that didn't endorse Trump. Man, YouTube is not coming up. What the hell?
Yeah, that shit just doesn't surprise me. It never does.
No. Oh my god, what is going on?
Maybe check your computer's stats, maybe. It's run too hot. I don't know.
It's just not loading. Let's see if CNN loads.
Oh god.
Can we load the fake news? Yeah, what the hell? Like, nothing's working. What the heck is going on? I wonder if I can, like, kill it on my phone, maybe. Alright, let's close out of Minecraft.
Are you still on the...
Oh, now it loads. Fuck, that's crazy.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, we're still streaming. We're about to end in a few seconds.
Yeah, man.
Once I open up my channel, we'll close it.
We should at least briefly fucking mention the title of this shit.
We did at the very, very beginning.
Oh.
I mean, we could... What do you guys think of Trump's plan to reopen America?
Yeah, I think that's actually something that needs to be done. Like, as soon as, like, at least start doing it. Because right now, like, what Tom Wolf is doing, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you have to... You know, we should fucking follow the CDC guidelines, but we shouldn't be going like all out and just killing the economy. You know, like Wolf has taken it too far, I think, because like they actually pass in both the state houses a law that would go and you know, allow places to reopen if they follow CDC guidelines. But then Wolf says he's gonna veto it.
Well, what do you think of Trump's... Did you see Trump's 3-phase plan for states to reopen?
Remind me what that particular, you know, what the phases kind of entail.
I should actually look it up because I did not have a chance to pay attention. Three-phase plan of coronavirus. Which fake news should we use? Okay, here's Fox News. I'm gonna scroll down a bit for that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Got the files too. Guidelines opening up America again. Alright, how do we go to the next slide on here?
I think it's something that's necessary because we need to have a plan to get shit back to normal. It's all well and good to do things the way we've been doing it, but you know, it's not it's not going to be able to stay here long term, basically. Yeah. Like that's we need to go and fucking open it back up.
Yeah, phase 1 says for states and regions that satisfy the gating criteria, all vulnerable individuals should continue shelter in place. All individuals when in public should maximize physical distance from others. Avoid socializing groups more than 10. Minimize non-essential travel. Then there's a phase 1 for employers. Phase 2 for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a second time. And phase 3 for states and regions with no evidence of a rebound and that satisfy the gating criteria a third time. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty good.
I think that's a fair plan.
Yeah, and I think you have to like show no increase. Yeah, okay. This is what I thought. If you have a downward trajectory of documented cases within 14 days or a downward trajectory of positive cases as a percent of total tests within a 14-day period, that's when you can start moving on phases. I think that's pretty good.
It's probably about as balanced as we're gonna be able to do in it. The faster we get the economy back safely, the better.
Oh, super important thing that I can't believe I forgot. Roger fucking Stone. Roger Stone had his gag order lifted, so he could start talking. So he went on Tucker on Friday. And while I'm grateful Tucker had him on, I'm disappointed he only had him on for the last 3 minutes of the show. I mean, this is a guy that has been on a gag, has been silenced for 16 months, and then he has him on for only 3 minutes.
Maybe Roger's lawyers had something to do with that.
Well, he's gonna be on OAN on Jack Posobiec's show on Monday. I can't wait for that because I really like Jack Posobiec. We had him on our radio show when we had a radio show, and it was great. So he's gonna be interviewing Roger Stone, and it should be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. Because another thing too is like, I don't know how much of this is how much Tucker actually influences his own show versus executives at Fox.
I think he has probably more influence than most hosts. I think it's a pretty decent influence.
So I don't know if maybe they would go and like say, hey, be careful with this guy.
I could feel a sort of a tension, like, oh shit, can't have him on for too long.
So I think that might have scared him because, he's associated with InfoWars and.
Roger Stone also has been denied a new trial.
Yeah, it's fucked. I don't know, like I think Trump just needs to fucking give him a pardon.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully he'll get reelected, and then he can just fucking do that at that point. And like honestly, that's what I'd start doing. Like if I was Trump, just finding all your supporters that have been wrongfully in prison, like at least on federal charges, and then just go and mass clemency.
If in his last term he can pardon Roger Stone and bring a lot of his supporters back on social media, that would just be amazing.
Well, I don't know how you'd be able to bring him back on social media because that's pretty outside the bounds of Trump's power.
Oh, I know it is, but I'm saying if he could get some sort of legislation through Congress, and then gets to his desk that would regulate big tech, that'd be an absolute win. Because I'm afraid if he doesn't do it in his second term, or I should say Congress, because really, again, Trump can't really do anything unless Congress does something. If Congress doesn't do something in his second term on big tech censorship, I don't know. I don't know if we will be able to. I think it might be too late. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. It's definitely gonna be a tough one for him.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you should watch the Roger Stone deposition on YouTube. He starts like cursing out the fucking prosecution against him. He called him like a bitch.
That's great. I don't know how well that's gonna help him, but it's fucking great.
I could tell his lawyer kept like saying, "Stop it, stop it, stop it." I was like, "Oh my god!" And he kept like doing fucking like one-liners and saying how like the lawyer would be disbarred. I was like, Jesus. I think he even said at one point he like molests kids or something.
Oof.
It was crazy.
Yeah, his lawyer's probably not too happy with him.
Anyway, that's all we have for you guys tonight. Thanks for listening to another Real News Quarantine. We will see you next time. Have a nice night, and as always, stay safe and wash your hands.